Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism, aka Hollip, aka the Buzz Killer. Um, just wanted to do a video offering a suggestion. I see that it seems to be a lot of discrepancies and beefs and arguments and philosophical disagreements on what we should call ourselves, where our actual land and our homeland is, and blah 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 blah, what religion we want to follow, what spiritual systems is more valid than the other, and since I consider myself an architect and a systems thinking individual, what I decided was to offer a suggestion. If we are really serious about coming together, meaning you got, and I'm talking about in terms of spiritually together, because you got the Christians, you have the Muslims, you have the Hebrews, and you have Kemetic science, Nile Valley civilization. You have offshoots of all of these, but basically that's what covers the gamut. If we're really serious about coming together, and if this coming together is really something that all of these parties really, really, truly desire, why not start a black theological school? What we can do, we can start a black theological school. We can have all of these religions inside of the school being taught to our children. So children who go to this school won't be indoctrinated in any one religion. And as a matter of fact, there won't be any indoctrination at all going on. Because what's going to be discussed in the school is the history behind these religions. So when you go to school to learn about Christianity, you're going to learn about the history of Christianity. When you go to school to learn about Islam, you're going to learn about the history of Islam. And we can deal with various offshoots. We can deal with the Nation of Islam, for instance, and there's actually two nations of Islam. I don't know if anybody knows that, but there's a split even amongst the Nation of Islam. You got people under Louis Farrakhan, and you had it split under Silas Muhammad. I don't know what the situation is now, but I know that those two groups still exist, and they're not working together. You have the Hebrew Israelites, you have other forms of Judaism and people expressing it in whatever way. So in each of these classes you can have the history of all of these organizations, and you can have more science too. I mean, whatever. Well, that would fall under Islam, right? So, all of them are branches off of those initial branches. But the bottom line is we would have all of this information discussed in the school, and our children will be learning about knowledge itself from all of them. Now, since it's going to be a history class and not indoctrination or dogma, this means that the children will have an opportunity to question you. And if you think your backs are being put up against the wall now, it's going to seem like a walk in the park once our bright, intelligent, creative children get this information and start questioning you. When they start questioning you on these folklores and these stories and where they came from and stuff, you're going to have to do some explaining. But guess what? No matter what, we'd all benefit from it because we'd all be operating under the same umbrella, this theological school, and our children will have knowledge of self instilled to them at a preschool level. I want this school to be from preschool to university level. Now, if you cats are really serious about unity, this is a no-brainer. We do this shit tomorrow. All of the leaders of these groups would sit down with each other and work out the curriculum for this school and put their resources together and build this thing tomorrow. If you are full of shit, then what's going to happen is this is going to be just another YouTube suggestion floating around in the atmosphere, and nobody's going to act on it. Now, I can't build a theological school by myself. I wish I could. I wish I had the resources to do it by myself. But these organizations are the ones who claim that, people like me aren't doing nothing but just talking shit on YouTube. So since I'm only talking shit on YouTube, don't come to me expecting me to build the school. You Mr. Action Man, you build it. Since you have the best interests of the community at heart, because anytime anybody questions these organizations, the first thing they're saying, well, look at what we done, look at what we did, what are you doing? Well, now you since you decided that you want to be the big one, you take it by the bull by the horns and create this black theological school. Because at the end of the day, I know what's going to happen. At the end of the day, they're all coming back to Nile Valley civilization, because that's where it all started. So I'm confident. How confident are you in the stuff that you're teaching to our kids, or the stuff that you're teaching to our people? So, is that a good suggestion? Is that just me talking shit? Am I out of my mind? Is that not something that would benefit every group involved to have our children educated? Or do we want to send them to Howard and Spelman, or Harvard or Yale or Princeton? And we're just talking theological school. Within that context, we can teach about math, we can teach about science, physics, all of that stuff. From whatever, I'm figuring that stuff is pretty much across the board. Are we going to give much arguments on whether 2 plus 2 is 4? So we would have the foundation to have an institution that teaches and instills knowledge of self into our children. Or are you threatened? If you're into Judaism, you don't want to learn about Islam because you feel that that's a threat. I believe that if the truth is put next to a lie, the truth will prevail. So I have no fear. Do you? Oh, and I also want to clear something up. If you go to my site at Holipsism's Haven, and that's www.holipsism.com, I have something in my About section, and it says the following. How does Holipsism's Haven feel about cliques? This site is dedicated to forming strong networks of people of like mind. We have no interest in being a part of your individual crew, clique, club, group, lodge, church, mosque, temple, tabernacle, or synagogue, unless you are reaching out to other groups and forming alliances and coalitions and networks. Your individual cause is irrelevant. If you refuse to connect with other brothers and sisters of like mind and form strong networks outside of your own clique, then do not expect a collective response from the African community when the beast turns its claws on your clique. If the community wasn't good enough for you or your clique to connect with, then the community shouldn't be expected to help you or your clique with your plight. What do I mean by that? I'm not rolling with no individuals. I'm only rolling with the truth. If you are about the truth, and I'm about the truth, then we're rolling together toward the truth. I'm not rolling with you, and the goal is not you. So I hope that clears things up. I'm not down with nobody except the truth, because individuals and groups are likely and able to fall off. I'm likely and able to fall off. I'm a human being. So if I fall off, what? That means that the whole concept of African people coming together is bullshit? Because Mr. Holipsism didn't keep it real? Get the fuck out of here, man. This is why we have to have a principle that exists outside of our dogma and exists outside of our own little individual interest. It has to be about the interest of the group, the empowerment of the group, the benefit of the group. Time is running out. We're in the fourth quarter. This is the 2-minute warning, and we sitting around here trying to figure out what uniform we should have on, or what name we're going to call the team, or what league we're going to play for. So that's all I got to say. Let me know. Put your comments in. And am I going to get a lot of hate and people saying, oh, blah, blah, blah? Maybe. Am I going to get some love? Is this concept worth anything, or is it just another bullshit comment, another bullshit suggestion that people are going to brush off like it doesn't exist, that it's nothing? And then we're just going to engage in another round of rhetoric? Just let me know. Leave a comment, and I hope that I get a lot of comments and a lot of suggestions, negative or positive, because I just want to see where people's heads are in relationship to this. Peace out, y'all. Hotep and Black Power.